Hey guys, Coach Ben here, bigbenchas.com, and today I'm going to show you how to go about unracking the bar if you train alone. So if you don't have a training partner for the day, you're short on handoff help, you got to know how to self-unrack the bar. And in fact, many athletes will actually like to self-unrack their own bar at the meet once they get comfortable with this process, because it eliminates the randomness of having someone that you've never worked with give you the bar. You can time your own breathing, you can create your own tension to the bar early, drag out with your lats. There can be quite the benefit to self-unracking your own bar. However, I always stress get the handoff help when possible. If you have people to help manage you at the meet, that's obviously going to be able to be a huge benefit as compared to taking out your own bar. But I'm going to show you how to do that in case you have to. So an important thing here is making sure you have the right rack height, okay? Make sure you have a rack height in which you just barely need to lock out your arm in order to clear the lip. If your bar is too low, you're going to have to push up and waste that energy, and that's not going to allow you to drag out efficiently with your lats. If it's too high, you have to actually pop your shoulders out of position to get that bar out. So if you have the opportunity to change the rack height to something that fits you perfectly, then I would go about doing that, so that all you have to do is a small lock and then drag, much more efficient. What's important to keep in mind when you do your own self-unrack is you probably are going to need to set up a little bit further back on the bench than you traditionally would. This is to keep you in a position in which you're not reaching behind you because you don't have any strength there. All right, you want to be able to keep that bar aligned with your shoulders as much as possible. Okay, that's going to be a real key thing. Let's take a look at what that looks like. So whereas I might get away with being set up right here normally, someone giving me a handoff, with a self-unrack, I'm going to want to be even closer to the uprights to give myself the best leverage advantage. So I'm probably going to set up even a little bit further back, so it's just pretty much a small drag out. The important thing to keep in mind when you're self-unracking is, again, you're creating as much leverage as possible, because you don't want to get pitted into your shoulders or be in a position where you're weak by trying to get this bar out yourself. How we do that? Well, we want to really just create a drag with our lats. And if you ever seen someone decline bench, that's our strongest position. So what I'm going to do when I self-unrack is I'm actually going to bridge my body up, all right, to create an advantageous leverage. I could just drag the bar out. I have to settle my hips down before I get a press call, and then I'm ready to go. So bridging your hips up yourself, creating that bridge to get better leverage is going to be key, as opposed to just being in your setup and trying to do it all with your back. Create leverage first, drag that bar out, get your hips down, and then you can settle into driving your knees out and pushing away from the floor. So we go from pushing down into the floor to create that leverage, to getting our butt down and then pushing away from the floor to create that direction force back. So those are the keys here with the self-unrack. Bridge yourself up to help with leveraging. Make sure you're close to the rack itself to help with leveraging. You want everything to be short, efficient, and smooth. You want the right height so that you're not lifting up and out. You're just locking and dragging, okay? One thing I will tell athletes is make sure if you are going to bridge up to take this bar out, right, make sure that you don't go from bridging, setting your feet, keeping your hips up, okay, taking the bar like that. Make sure you at least touch down with your hips first, then go back to bridging, because you want to be able to feel your final position. If you go from the bridge, right, taking the bar out and then putting your hips down, you may find that you actually want it to be a little bit wider with your feet. You're going to be able to feel that final tension by getting your hips down, feeling it first, and then bridging up. So there you have it, guys. That's how you're gonna go about self-unracking your own bar. In the end, it all comes down to creating favorable leverages, getting very close to the bar itself and the rack, making sure the rack height is as perfect as possible, making sure you're bridging up to give yourself the best opportunity to drag the bar out, and making sure that you check down with your final position first so that you know what it's gonna feel like when you do get into that position. All right, so you're not shifting your feet around and trying to find a new spot to be. If you do have a regular handoff, always take that help. There is going to be much more benefit to just being able to assume your final position, not have to worry about bridging up, and just load that weight. If you don't have regular help, or you don't want that randomness out of meat, learn how to self-unrack like a pro, and you'll be good to go. Coach Ben here. And you know where to find me. You can meet me on a bench. Thanks for watching the video. If you want to learn more about how to increase your bench press, consider joining us in our Better Benching Academy. To learn more, simply click the link down below in the description box or visit bigbenchas.com/BB Academy. I'll see you there.